A fresher is having kind of an advantage and a disadvantage. Advantage would be, especially in FMCG companies or these kind of companies where no prior work experience is required. So you are coming with a fresh set of mind. So when I came into this company, I came with a sales background. So I had a mindset कि ठीक है ये काम नहीं होगा तो इसको ऐसा I'll push, I'll make this effort, I'll try to solve the problem of the customer. If a fresher is coming, he or she will have a different kind of perspective, and that is what these FMCG company need. Disadvantage would be a, let's say, for an IT consulting company. If someone is from a commerce background, they have not learned anything about coding. So it's not like they cannot learn. They can definitely learn, but the company would like कि आप आईटी का 1 साल 1.5 साल 2 साल का एक्सपीरियंस लेके आओ. Only then it would be feasible for them because they don't want to spend 1 or 2 years training you with these things.
Hello and welcome to today's podcast by Skilled Sapiens, your go-to resource for experiential learning, where we discover new opportunities, develop essential skills, and deploy our talent to make an everlasting impact. I am your host for today's podcast, Prakriti Jain. Today we have with us Akash Gupta, who has done his MBA from Symbiosis Center for Management and Human Resources and got PPO at Godrej Consumer Products. Welcome, Akash.
Hi Prakriti, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
So, how are things going on right now?
Going great. So right now I'm working with Godrej Consumer Products and I'm working as an area sales manager. So pretty good. Everything is going on good. We are currently in the month of June and this month is going to start. So there are a lot of targets and a lot of things to do. So yeah,
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
So, Akash, let's start with knowing better about yourself and how was your MBA journey? How was your experience?
Okay. So basically let me introduce myself. So my name is Akash Gupta and I am from a town called Raniganj in West Bengal. So I completed, so after my class 12th, I completed my engineering in the field of mechanical engineering. In the year 2018, I got passed out from Jalpaiguri Government Engineering College, which is again a state government college in West Bengal. Uh, After completing, so basically, I had an interest in mechanical at that point of time, solving the mechanics questions and all. So that's why I decided to take up the mechanical engineering course. But during the course, what I felt was I was more inclined towards the management aspects of things because I managed fests and various other things in my college. So at that point of time, I understood that okay, mechanical as a stream is a good stream, but again, I want to get into the business aspects of things, and then that is when I decided to do an MBA. So after completing my engineering, I started working as a business development associate in Byju's, the learning app. This was basically a sales role. I worked there for almost 15-16 months, almost 1.5 years in two different roles. So first I was a business development associate, and then I got on to become a renewal specialist. So I worked into sales for 1.5 years almost, and then appeared for CAT, SNAP, and MAT, and ZAT, and all the other entrance, all the common exams which we usually go for. Um, so my score in CAT was good, but again, in terms of NMAT and SNAP, I think I scored better, and the chances of getting into a symbiosis or an MIMS were much better than getting into old IMs, which I could not get at that point of time. So finally, I decided to join SCMHRD, which is in Pune, in Jewadi. And yeah, that's how my MBA journey started. I took sales and marketing as my specialization.
Okay.
And in the first year itself, we have this summer internship program where Godrej Consumer Products is having a Godrej Loud. The name of the program is Godrej Loud. And through that, I got selected for this summer internship.
So, talking about your internship, what was the company about and how was your experience?
Okay, so Godrej is like one of the first company that comes to the campus. So even before proper starting of our summer placement season, Godrej came and the presentation that they made, and most of the people usually know Godrej by maybe a refrigerator or a air
Yes.
conditioner or Almira or something. But then we all know the brands that Godrej Consumer Products have, but we don't specifically know at that point of time that okay, these are the Godrej brands. So, for example, Good Night, Hit, and then Synthol, Godrej Number One, then Easy, and there are a lot of good brands which are basically the market leader. Like we have Air, which is home spray category. So, basically, at that point of time, I did not know a lot about Godrej, but I did my research and I pretty much liked the company. I understood that this is one of the good FMCG companies to get into, especially someone who is in marketing aspires to get into FMCG. And then I started preparing. Um Talking about the process of this internship selection, so Godrej Loud is basically a process where they will ask you various questions. There's a form that you need to fill. Based on that, so they will be asking a lot of questions in those forms, personal questions, professional questions. What are, if this kind of problem is there, how are you going to solve that? That kind of questions you need to answer. Based on this form, you get selected into further rounds. And there are further, I think, 3, 4 rounds where there will be kind of group discussion and then various other rounds are there. And once you cross the loud phase, so then towards the end, there is you need to tell about your dream in Godrej Loud. So Godrej is actually sponsoring one of your dreams, whatever you want to do. So they are giving some 3.5 lakh rupees at the time when I did this Godrej Loud. So so I could not win Godrej Loud, but the person who won, I would tell her story. So there was a person, she was very much passionate about making about bakery. So basically making cakes and all. And this was her dream. She wanted to create open her own shop in Pune, I guess. And the planning and all that she had done is something that Godrej liked, I guess, and that's why she won Godrej Loud at in that particular year. And she got the finance to start that. She also started some online this bakery thing. I don't know how it is doing right now, but of course, yeah. So that is something where we understand that okay, this is not just a company which is coming and taking group discussions, having debates, judging us, taking PIs, and then selecting us. Rather than that, they were like, you tell us about your dream. If we find that yes, your dream is good enough, you are passionate enough, we are going to fund that. So that's how Godrej journey started for us.
Well, that was very motivating. I guess now people will be very, very on their toes when Godrej comes to their campuses. So, what was the
Yes.
specific role or the project that you were working in during your internship?
So the project was basically related to category innovation. So there is a household insecticide category in Godrej Consumer Products. The two big brands are Goodnight and Hit, which are basically the market leaders right now and since a long time. My project was basically to increase. So this was project was basically related to the CIK, which is we call the crawling insect killer. That is one part, and I had to come up with a new product or a concept where we can actually increase the household penetration of this brand. So there are many consumers who are facing the problem of insecticides in their home, but still they are using some home remedies or they are using some local products. So we wanted to increase the category penetration of this particular CIK part of it. So that was my project. And I had to create concepts, talk to consumers, do consumer immersions, try to understand the consumer journey, right from why they first think that they need a product like Hit or a Good Night. The first thing what is it comes to their mind, they want to kill them instantly. So very minute understanding of how the consumer journey is, and based on that, what kind of product can actually help in their this problem. So one small insight I will give what I found at that point of time was, uh, so especially the hit spray that we have. Ideally, hit spray should be used maybe like constantly for 4 or 5 days at a stretch. But what happens, the consumer behavior is they will spray the hit in the kitchen and then at night just before going to sleep, and then they'll close the kitchen and in the morning they'll wake up. So now what happens that cockroaches will be killed because of that, but again there are nests inside some holes or some deep corners in the kitchen where they will breed again and they'll come back. So what we want is they should actually spray it 4 or 5 days in a continuous manner. But the problem, the consumer insight that we got is when they're spraying it in the kitchen, so it's getting into the utensils and everything, so the next day they have to clean everything, right? And because of that, they cannot do it continuously for 4 or 5 days because it's very hectic for them. So that is why we came up with a product called Hit Anti-Roach Gel, which is like a gel where, if a cockroach is coming into contact with that gel, then it will go back to its nest. And when it goes back to its nest, the effect of that gel will be spread out in all the cockroaches and they will die instantly. So this is what the project was. I think it was very interesting project,
Yeah.
and yeah.
So, as you said, you haven't had much, information about Godrej. Very small things we knew. So, when you entered the office during your internship, what was your first impression about the work culture of the organization?
What I understood during my internship is a Godrej is a very, all-inclusive kind of a company. So when you get into Godrej as an intern, usually we have that fear that, okay, we are the, bottom of the chain and just entered the company. We are not even sure that we are going to do a job here or not. So there is kind of a daunting experience at that point of time. But in Godrej, since the first day you connect with the national sales head, you'll have a connect with the CEO, you'll have a connect with the CMO, with all the HR heads and all. So you will feel much more included into the company from the first day itself. So everything is taken care of. They'll give you the project. You will get to interact with the guides, like maybe 4 or 5 days just starting before starting of the project and all those things. So I think culture-wise, it was a very warm culture. Godrej, in fact, I'm working right now, and Godrej is having a very, very warm culture. I think it is some great place to work certified also. So yeah, it's great. Like it's great place to learn. And especially the visibility and accessibility part in Godrej is very good because today, if I am facing a problem with, let's say, some brand, let's say for Synthol, I'm facing a problem in Aurangabad, which is my territory. I can directly communicate with the brand manager that, okay, what are the plan? What is the pipeline that we are having? What we can do? In fact, we had a meeting 2 3 days back with the CM also, understanding how the management trainee journey and all is going. So that accessibility and visibility is very good in Godrej, and that's why the learning opportunity and the career path is very good.
So, what do you think that how your academic knowledge that you have gained during your MBA has complemented in your internship? Because what I think is that marketing is something which can't understand by reading just books. Learning STP and applying STP are way two different things. Like you shared the example of the cockroach killer that you have, the whole analysis or the research you have done. So, how do you think the academic knowledge or the frameworks that we learn has complemented this research?
Okay. So see, what I understand is whenever whatever we are reading in terms of books and the frameworks that we are reading, I think that gives us a broad understanding of if there is a problem, how to approach that. Now there can be a customization in terms of what is the problem, and based on that there can be different other changes that we can make to the framework. But broadly, a framework gives us an understanding. So I'll just give you an example from STP, which is ideally segmentation, targeting, and then positioning. Okay. So I'll give a Godrej example. So Godrej is having a brand called Godrej Number One, which is a soap brand. Okay. And this is one of the oldest brand in the country. And I think second combined, I think it's the market leaders. Or if we look only at number one, then it is, I think, second after Lux. This is what I have understood. So let's understand the segmentation, targeting, and positioning with in terms of this number one soap. So now, if you look at Godrej is having two brands in soap. One is Godrej Number One, which is a beauty soap, and then there is Synthol, which is a alive or a fresh soap, which is Synthol Lime, Synthol Cool. So this is how we segment the customer. Everyone who is so almost 100% of the people in this country will be using soaps, right? But then there are these three categories where we have segmented them, and there are three different products for these three different categories. So this is how we are segmenting them. Then we are targeting them with the help of number one, and then Synthol, and then let's say Reckitt is having Dettol, and Unilever is having Lifebuoy, and then we position it as them. So now let's talk more about positioning. So now in beauty soaps also there are various categories. We just need to understand कि a normal middle class or lower middle class Indian consumer wants कि उसका जो soap है वो लंबा चले, and then there should be more and more jhag or lather in that, and there should be good sweet or good smell in that. ठीक है, तो अभी गोदरेज नंबर वन जो है, it is a sandal का soap. Sandal is the flavor of that. It is having a TFM which is highest, which is grade one, which is highest in among all the other soaps. तो उससे झाग बहुत अच्छा बनता है, it will be long lasting. And then of course जो है वो beauty का उसमें जो भी components है वो है. So this is how we are targeting. Now the customer for a peers, अगर उसको I am targeting with a number one, they are not interested. They will not take number one. But if we give peers to a number one consumers, even then they are not interested. So ideally, when we don't get into detail, we understand that okay, soap के consumers हैं. But if you get into detail, you will understand there is a lot of segmentation, targeting, and then how they are positioning themselves. So this is also basically whatever frameworks we are learning in books, that is very important. But again, applying it on various case studies, and when you get on the job and applying them will be, more of a challenge, and that's how things are going to be. So it's very helpful, whatever frameworks you are learning.
So, what do you think the skills that you have gained during our internship, or do you have to face a lot of criticism? As you know, many of us are freshers when we first go to our summer internships. So, does this happen to you? And if it does, how did you handle that criticism, or how did you take that feedback?
See, in order to understand this, first you need to understand. So, ideally, we see that if someone is doing an MBA, they are getting a higher package job, better managerial position, vis-a-vis an engineering student or a CA or someone else, right? This is what a general understanding is. Now, what exactly is the difference when people? So, if I am a CA right now, I am the same person, and after doing an MBA, I am the same person. So, what is that? What makes this difference? So the main difference is the aptitude. So basically in MBA, we go through these exams, CAT, XAT, SNAP, and MAT, whatever. So they are basically testing your aptitude. So aptitude is basically your ability to understand, comprehend, solve for things, right? This is what they look when you get into a B school. Once you are getting into a B school, definitely most of the people who are there in a B school, they will be getting jobs which are good jobs. Of course, आपका अगर aptitude है, then you can do well in that. ठीक है. So I don't think there is a criticism. So for people like this is some a misnomer is what I would say. कि if someone is a fresher, then उनके chances come. I don't think that, because even as a fresher, if you have that aptitude, only then you are getting into these B schools, and only then you are getting selected into these companies. So I don't think that would be an issue. Rather, a fresher is having kind of an advantage and a disadvantage. Advantage would be especially in FMCG companies or these kind of companies where no prior work experience is required. So you are coming with a fresh set of mind. So when I came into this company, I came with a sales background. So I had a mindset कि ठीक है ये काम नहीं होगा तो इसको ऐसा I'll push, I'll make this effort, I'll try to solve the problem of the customer. If a fresher is coming, he or she will have a different kind of perspective, and that is what these FMCG company needs. So I think it is well into advantage also, and disadvantage would be a, let's say, for an IT consulting company. If someone is from a commerce background, they have not learned anything about coding. So it's not like they cannot learn, they can definitely learn, but the company would like कि आप IT का 1 साल 1.5 साल 2 साल का experience लेके आओ. Only then it would be feasible for them, because they don't want to spend 1 or 2 years training you with these things. So for some company it's an advantage, for some company it would be a disadvantage, but not even if disadvantage, not to a like big extent.
Well, it's a great learning that you have achieved. So, how it felt when you received the PPO from Godrej?
Yeah, so uh, so as any student who is preparing for these management entrance exam, it's a very hectic journey. Multiple failures we see a lot of hard work done, and yet we don't get the results. So seems a bit disappointing. And this is something which has happened for, I think, with everyone and with me also without an exception. Uh, Getting into my college and Godrej being the first company when I got this internship, and I did well, my interviews and all went well. But even then, we are not sure because all the top colleges are, students from all the top colleges, IIM, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, XLRI, then MDI, IFT, all of them, we compete together when we are doing this internship. So, I was not very sure is what is going to happen, but one thing what my guide has had told me in the very first day was he was a category head of HI, and he told me, see Akash, in this internship we are looking towards a transaction. If you give us something, we are going to give you something. So whatever my project, what his was in that project, if I am able to contribute very positively to that project, which helps the company in the longer run, then definitely they have a job for me. But the vice versa won't work. If I'm not able to contribute, then it is not very, apt for them also to take me. So that kind of situation was there. But again, when the PPO was announced, I got a call from the training and placement, the placement cell of our college, and they told me. So I was very happy because uh, this was the first company that came into internship, and I got a PPO there. So throughout my 2 years of MBA life, I never sat for any company. So this was the first and last company for me. So yeah, in that terms, I think whatever hard work I had to put, which I put before an MBA, I did not had to put after an MBA.
Well, that is the actually the dream of most of the B school students that the first company came and we sit for that and just get out with that internship or the placements. No need, nobody wants to wait for a longer period of time.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, what do you think are the key factors that led you this PPO?
So see, as I already mentioned, this was a very blunt discussion that I had with my category head, who told me that you need to, contribute. And see, most of the times we being new people into the company, as the internship people, it's highly likely that the problems that they have given us, we may not be able to solve it completely. But there are two things what they see, which I think is a learning for anyone who is getting into a summer internship. The kind of approach that you have, the kind of frameworks you are making, the kind of way you are dealing with a problem, how you are getting into the detail and trying to find the crux of the problem and then trying to solve that. That approach is very important. Many a time you will get a problem which may not be very easy to solve, but even if you are reaching to a particular extent and the approach of it is right, I think that is a one good point in order to get a PPO. That is first. Second, you need to also understand how important this problem is for the company. So for example, household insecticide as a category is not on a very huge growth when I got that internship, बिकॉज अभी सबके घर पे मच्छर के लिए गुड नाइट है, सबके घर पे कॉकरोच के लिए हिट है, अभी उसको और कितना ग्रो कर सकते हैं. And you know for any company which is dealing in such categories, these categories very important. So we, if you are getting a project in that and you are able to find a breakthrough in that कि नहीं हम ये भी कर सकते हैं, which may or may not be helpful for the company in a long run. I think that kind of a thing, the company also understand कि, okay, this guy has given us so much, and I think he's a good fit for the company. So that is one. Second thing is you need to be a cultural fit for the company. So now in Godrej, what I've understood is like people are very helpful, very accessible, very visible. So you also need to be very accessible, visible, and all those things, because when a junior is coming in your company, the way you have got a support, are you able to, support them? Are you approachable enough? How you talk, how you respond, how you think about a problem? Are you taking everyone taking the understandings of each and every stakeholder, and based on that, you are trying to solve the problem? That inclusivity, if you have, then that is a Godrej culture, and then you are a culturally fit person. So I think these two things are broadly how you can get into getting a PPO.
So, how was the process after getting the PPO? Means, do you have to go through a kind of an interview about the futuristic approaches that you have for the company, or you just directly got the PPO because of your internship work that you have did?
Okay, so let me explain you what is the process from internship to finally getting the job and finally becoming an area sales manager in Godrej. So as you can understand how this process works. So first is loud, as I already told you. After loud, you are having so if you are getting through all these, so once you are getting into loud, definitely you will go till the interview. Now this interview PI round is taken. Mine was taken by the national sales head, and I guess GT head was there. They took my personal interview. Based on that, you get this internship. Now, this internship will be having two parts. One is the mid review, then there will be a final review. So in mid review, they will just see how much you are on track, whatever you are done. So ideally in mid review, so my mid review was taken by the category global category head at GCPL, and during the mid review only they will try to see if whatever I am saying is interesting or not. Is it going to make sense for them or not? Usually, mid review is when they understand if this person is on track, and then final review is the you are basically giving them the final outcome of whatever you have done in these 2 months. So this is how it goes. Then after this final review, you will get a PPI. So the PPI is basically they are considering you for the next round. In PPI, we had 3 days of immersion where we used to go to the market for 3 days with different stakeholders. One day with ASM, one day with FO, one day with the salesman. And then we will come back, and then there will be an interview with the national sales head, and they will try to judge, because many a times we want to get into an FMCG thinking about the marketing and brand aspect of that. But before getting into marketing and brand, it's very important for us to do sales, because sales is where you actually get. So if I am launching a new product sitting in the office, only if I have done sales job, only then I know how it is going to get into the market. What are the things, what are the parameters I need to do right so as this launch would be successful. Right. So so based on that, that interview was there, and then I got a PPO. Now, after getting a PPO, after getting selected in Godrej Consumer Products, we have one entire year of a management training stint where we roughly do 5 stints. So one is the DSRFO role. Then there is a ASC role, which is rural. Then there is a ASM role. There is a marketing project and all those. So I'll just give you my timeline. I joined Godrej on May 15th. I have almost already completed 1 year now. My first stint was in Indore for 2 months. The next stint was in Patna for 2 months. The next stint was in Indonesia, which was my marketing project in Jakarta. It was for 2.5 to 3 months. And then I had another ASC stint, which was in Davangere, which is in Karnataka. Then I was in my ASM stint in Uttarakhand, Dehradun, and in Western UP and all those areas. And now I have been confirmed as a ASM Aurangabad, which is in Maharashtra. So this is how the whole journey looks like.
So, as you are currently holding the position of area sales manager, and I think that some of your, you have interns below you. So, what do you think are the, what the company looks for interns that can actually convert to PPOs?
Yeah, as I already mentioned, this is basically more about your approach and your problem solving skills and stakeholder management. These are the three keywords which I can throw right now. Approach is basically whatever problem you have got, what is your approach? How are you, breaking the problem, understanding detail of each part of it, and then how you are trying to solve the problem. So that approach is very important. What has been your approach? This is irrespective of you are getting the results or not getting the results. Approach, how you are having that approach is very important. That is one. Second thing is stakeholder management. So while you are solving a problem, there will be brand team, category team, sales team, a lot of other stakeholders as well. So every stakeholder will be having some inputs कि क्या करना चाहिए, right? So based on their understanding of the problem, they will give you some inputs and how you are actually collating them to create a fruitful solution. So that is stakeholder management, understanding the problem. Each of them are telling the kind of solution they are proposing. So that is the second thing. And third is definitely the deliverable. If they are giving you a project to create a concept, then have you been able to create a concept or not? So yeah, these three things I think broadly are important.
So, according to you, what do you think are the do's and don'ts that one should do, during their internship? What are the don'ts actually that, led to, not converting the internships into PPO?
Yeah. So for dues, what I understand, because even when I joined as an intern, I did not think that I have a lot of knowledge, and it makes it difficult because the project you are getting is a live project. It's a project, not it is a project which is very important for the company. And as an intern, we come with a very limited amount of knowledge. So so what I used to do usually during even before my internship was I used to go through a lot of case studies. So if you go to websites like Marketing Weekly, AFAX, then we have ET Brand Equity, and there are certain other case study competitions which is there to compete. So I used to go through a lot of case studies. Going through a lot of case studies will enhance your approach of how you can apply frameworks, you can think about a problem. So I think doing that is one of the good things, first thing. Second thing, if you're getting a particular kind of a project, you should also try to find as many number of people possible who can actually help you in this, who have already done this. So this is very important. So mine was category innovation, and somehow I found someone who was working in a similar FMCG company, and he could give me an understanding. Okay, इस तरह का problem अगर आता है तो how do company usually deal with that? So creating that pool of resources is very important who are going to guide you, because 2 months is a very short period of time to for you to experiment. तो आपको अगर एक वे लग रहा है कि इस वे में let me start working, and आपको realize होगा कि after maybe 15 days you realize that no, this is not the right way, I'm hitting a dead end. So at that point of time you do not have a lot of time to come back and then go to a new approach. So it's very important that you create, let's say, good number of resources whom you can connect, tell them about your project, ki, okay, this is my project, how should I approach, try to gain the approach from them, and then based on that you pull it and make your own approach, ki, okay, this is how I need to go. So this resource uh, creating and using that resource, getting help from people who are already experienced, I think that is one of the big do's that I would suggest. Third do would be, you should actually within the company ecosystem you should connect with a lot of people, because usually the person who is making the decision of giving you a PPO, he will also be taking feedback from other stakeholders with whom you are interacting on a daily basis. Okay? So it's very important to connect with as many people as possible, try to understand the problem and all those things. So the more you connect with them, the more you gain understanding from them, highly likely that the feedback they give about you to the person who is going to decide your PPO is going to be positive. So I think majorly, and then again, the fourth point is the how you need to approach about the project. I already told you. So these 4 points broadly are the do's. Don'ts would be one thing would be a lot of people what they do is especially in FMCG companies, they are too much keen about the brand category aspect of things, and many a times they showcase some kind of denial they have for sales. So this is a like don't according to me, because anyhow when you get into FMCG companies you have to do sales, and it's not about only have to do sales. Only when you do sales you will be able to understand the problems that are coming on ground. So when you rise above on a senior level, only then it would be easy for you to actually understand before that thing is happening. Other don't is you need to be very serious about the project, because uh, the company is going to judge you based on how serious you are, right? So if because of certain reasons at that point of time you are not serious, so then it would create an impact on them that okay, this guy may or may not be that serious as what we want. So taking that internship seriously is important. And one don't is many times this is what my one of my senior also gave me this advice is don't shy away uh, from talking to a lot of people. So a lot of time what happens that okay, this is my project, I'll try to do it myself. This is not something that anyone should do, because being new to the system, being an intern, being just not even pass out from a B school, highly likely that you may not be thinking in correct way. So that course correction is very important, and you should speak to a lot of stakeholders. One more thing, these people who are the stakeholders in your project, so they do not So this internship is very important to you, but may not be very important to them because they have a lot of other things to do. So it may so happen that you are approaching someone, but because they are busy, they are not able to reply, and somehow you are not able to connect to them. So we should not shy away from thinking कि मैंने 5 बार उनको मैसेज कर दिया, 2 बार कॉल कर दिया, अभी कोई रेस्पॉन्स नहीं है, तो शुड आई डू और शुड आई नॉट डू. वो आपको करना पड़ेगा बिकॉज इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट दे डोंट वांट टू हेल्प यू. बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली अगर आपने 3 बार किसी को कॉल कर दिया, उन्होंने रिस्पॉन्स नहीं दिया, तो व्हाट वी थिंक यूजुअली इज कि नो मे बी दे डोंट वांट टू हेल्प अस, बट आइडियली दिस इज नॉट द केस. What happens is they want to help you, but you are not on the top of their priority, the number of things that they have to do every day. तो अभी उनके अगर 8 प्रायोरिटीज हैं, आप 8th नंबर पे हो, तो 7th प्रायोरिटी जैसे ही खत्म होगा दे विल कम टू यू, दैट इज 100% श्योर. बट आपको उतना उनको अप्रोच करना पड़ेगा, ओनली देन दैट विल बी देयर इन देयर माइंड. So I think, yeah, these are the don'ts broadly.
Well, coming to the end of the session, what do you think, in according to your, perspective, what advice would you like to give to the upcoming MBA students, so they can prep themselves for their internships and they can reach the heights in the career that you have achieved?
See, one of the most important thing is to try to find things which actually excites you. So marketing FMCG, so right the day when I decided to do an MBA, from that point of time only I was somehow inclined towards marketing because I had done some sales in Byju's and I had understood कि marketing से we create that pull, and which is very important. So it is very important to find your calling. A lot of times it may happen that you are not very sure कि यही करना है मेरे को. That may happen, that's fine. Whatever comes your way, you should just go with that, but try always to find that what is that thing that excites you. Now, like, I am happy with the uh, whatever working hours it may be, but I am at least happy with what I'm doing. So the amount of efforts that I have to put has actually reduced because of my own interest. So I think that interest one should try to find. Only it's not possible to just think in the mind and find कि मेरे को किस चीज में interest है. Many a times it's a good thing to try things and see कि अभी ये अच्छा है नहीं है. See, what I understand, if you are getting into a good B schools, into one of the good B schools, then ideally your career is going to be bright. Whatever happens, it may be in some other sector, some other company, some other role, but it's going to be bright. So it's very important for you to find things which are worth your time, which you feel is worth your time. So yeah, I think that would be one of the good advices that I have.
Well, that was very, very insightful of you, Akash. I must say that, by this episode only, a lot of our upcoming MBA students will get a lot from this, about everything that they run around to seek knowledge about the certain small, small doubts they have about their internship, how things, are in the B school. And I must say they will get a lot from you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much. We have a lovely conversation and I enjoyed. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prakriti, for also for this opportunity. And it feels actually good to be able to tell something to people who need this kind of maybe advice or whatever words that we use. During my preparation also, I was always looking forward to hearing from people that how my life is going to be, because I am slogging so hard for cracking CAT or other exams. And it's always a good thing when we get inspired by, okay, if I do this, I'll be able to get that. I think it's very inspiring, and I hope that I will be able to do that for people who are coming or upcoming right now. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. That's all for today's episode. If you like our conversation with Akash, do like this video and don't forget to subscribe our channel for both episodes. And don't forget to leave a comment down below. And until next time, keep striving for excellence.